Then this film actress Tabbu and Farah's brother Kamran Rizvi was also my batchmate for LLB. We were doing that in the evening when I was working with Sun and Sand. That time in the evening, I used to attend these LLB classes. So later, when I became HR manager with Hotel Airport Plaza, I completed my LLB there. So these are the fond memories of Mr. Sunny Deol and other fellows from Bollywood. And today he is your MP and he visits some gentlemen, some senior elderly statesman from Gurdaspur. He is managing your constituency these days on his behalf. But if you do have any work connected to him, I could be of some help as a classmate, okay, or as a alumni of Jitendra Chavan College of Law. So that's my, connection with Gurdaspur. Now I'm telling you about these global opportunities. Why do I tell people to go abroad and earn money and come back? The reason is uh, what I have been experiencing over the years. Last more than 3 decades, I've been working and I have been watching. I employed many expatriate fellows. When I was the general manager HR with Sahara India, this Sahara Star property, I was responsible for talent acquisition, particularly of employees from foreign lands. Like I employed people from Brittany in France, or I employed a guy from Stuttgart in Germany. I also employed few chefs from Lebanon, from Beirut. I also employed some artists from Spain as well as Ukraine. Then many people from Indonesia, Thailand as well. So what I observed, Indian employers are ready to pay to these employees from abroad any amount money they ask for, at international rate. But when it comes to paying their own people, they become very, very conservative. Now I have been, taking care of recruitment on behalf of my clients abroad for last 4 5 years. What I have been watching is, I'll tell you my experience. Supposing a DCDP in India gets somewhere around 18 to 25,000 in a normal hotel. Same kind of hotel at Georgetown in Guyana will pay him equivalent to 1,10,000 or 1,25,000 per month. Or likewise, if F&B executive or CDP is paid 35,000 over year, if same guy gets employment at SUA in Fiji, he would receive somewhere around 1,75,000. So going abroad, earlier it used, they used to tell me that we need a person with experience, but because of paucity of people knowledge, having knowledge or qualification of the subject, these days they are asking even for the freshers, particularly employers from New Zealand, Australia, Fiji, Guyana, etc. They say ki we do not mind taking freshers also if they have scored well in their subjects at the time of acquiring degree in hotel management. If they have good knowledge, then we can turn that what we call cognizant knowledge into practice, and we will make them skilled employees in a period of 4 months to 6 months. So even fresh graduates are in demand these days. So my advice is, go abroad, make money, come back and start your own venture, start your own restaurant or whatever business you are comfortable into. I have seen many people going abroad, becoming general managers with Holiday Inn or Marriott in a country like Chile or USA, coming back, buying bungalows in Navi Mumbai or apartment in Mumbai. So my advice is, always go abroad, make money, come back, So rest of the life, you can spend without much of the worries. Money reduces many of your worries, and that makes you really healthy, not just wealthy, healthy also. And Punjabis, as it is, I have been watching them. I mean, why the entire world is watching that Kama Gata Maru incident of 1904. I mean, where that ship was drowned, majority of the travelers were Punjabis who were traveling to Canada. That time, British India, there was just one passport for the entire universe. Because whether you are going to Canada or whether you are going to other countries in the Commonwealth like Australia or New Zealand, you are traveling to part of United Kingdom only. So many people, particularly Punjabis, who were encouraged by Sardar Dulip Singh, who was son of great warrior king Ranjit Singh, he promoted people to go abroad, and during his time, Punjabis even traveled to Egypt as far as I mean to Egypt, and his wife. I'm talking of the 1837-40. Dulip Singh was married to an Egyptian princess, so that marriage itself was intercontinental, and that really made this particular province. That had sown the seeds of this intercontinental things, traveling abroad, etc. In currently, that Kamala Harris, who's contesting vice presidential election for United States, her forefathers had come back way back in 19th century from Punjab to USA. That is what I have been told. And I see many, many Americans with names like Patrick Singh, Michael Singh, etc., etc. They are there for hundreds of years. And very recently, I have sent in many people to Azerbaijan. Recently means in 2018 from Patiala, etc. So I will not just restrict myself to now Punjab only. I will take you around the world. I mean, for all Indians, these opportunities are there. Guys, we are damn lucky that we were ruled by Britishers. As a result, the language which we speak, at least 20 crore of Indians, they can converse in English. That is understood in 161 countries. There are 230 countries in the world, and out of that, in 161 countries, English is the official language, including Union Republic of India. So that helps you to land into different parts of the world. And second thing, the kind of accent we use, people who are very comfortable with the Indian accent of English. So if you are getting opportunity, please go abroad. I will begin my journey from South America, what we call as Latin America also, though English is not a language. In Brazil, they speak Portuguese, and the rest of the world. In Latin America, they talk in Spanish, but English will definitely help you to land in the job over there. Very recently in Mexico at Guadalajara, in a restaurant, I have placed as many as five culinary associates who are very well paid. 1 lakh rupees, I mean equivalent to 1 lakh Indian rupees for people with just 1 year's experience in tandoor, curry, etc., etc. Plus accommodation, plus free food. That is not a bad salary. Even in Mexico City, you will see many of the Indian restaurants. So that's one part. Then there are many times, openings in Uruguay, etc. Why Uruguay? Because lot many Indian software companies, there are so many of their people placed in countries like Uruguay or Mexico, etc. And to serve them, there are Indian restaurants. So there are openings in these unheard at these unheard countries also. I will take you to eastern part of America, because rest of the part that is not worth visiting. Colombia, Venezuela, Bolivia, Peru, Chile, etc., etc. All the time civil wars are happening over there. So many, I mean, drug wars. We must have been reading in the newspapers or watching or CNN, etc. So we'll not visit that part. We'll come to Dutch Guyana, which is on the east coast. Dutch Guyana is a Dutch-speaking country. Dutch means the language of Holland or Netherlands. So Dutch people prior to arrival of French or English or Portuguese, Spanish people in India, Dutch had, I mean, entered the India way back in the 1410 or 1420. They had colonies at places like Chandranagar, etc. And when they started sugar cane farms in Dutch Guyana, they took lot many people from Pondicherry, Chandranagar, etc., as indentured laborers to work on sugar cane farms of Suriname. And that's how today Suriname, which was earlier known as French Guyana, consists of almost 30% population of Indian origin, including their president or vice president, who were people of Indian descent. And there are many Indian restaurants and even theaters are screening Indian movies. You will feel very, very comfortable if you get an offer of employment from any Surinamese company or hospitality company. There are malls, multiplexes, hotels. Please accept that. You would really feel very comfortable in this peace loving country. Now, next to Suriname, there is a French Guyana, and beside French Guyana, there is a British Guyana. So, British Guyana is these days known as Guyana, and 50% of the population of Guyana is of Indian origin. Again, same story of indentured laborers going from Jharkhand, Bihar, Eastern UP, right from 1840, 1850 till 2000, 1924, they were migrating to Guyana to work on sugarcane farms, on sugar estates, sugar mills, etc. And today, Georgetown and Buda, which are the major cities, you will find more than 70% people of Indian descent. Though they do not speak Hindi anymore, they talk in English, which has the influence of Bhojpuri language. And there are temples, there are institutions like Sanatan, Dharma Sabha, Hindu Sabha, etc. There are theaters which are screening Indian movies, Hindi movies. There are always concerts of Bollywood stars happening there. 2 years ago, I mean, before Kareena Kapoor got wedded to this Saif Ali Khan, she had held a concert. She had traveled to Suriname and Guyana along with Alka Yagnik. So concerts are always happening that side, and Guyana has produced very finest cricket players who played for West Indies. You might have heard their names like Rohan Kanai, Shivnarayan Chandrapal, Alvin Kalicharan, Rajendra Dhanraj, Mahesh Nagamuthu, etc. So why vacancies are occurring in Suriname and Guyana? They must be having their own people, graduate hotel management guys there. Yeah, it is true, but people, students from Dutch Guyana or Suriname, they normally go to Amsterdam for higher studies or for taking up better jobs. They go to Holland. And likewise, students from Georgetown, Guyana, they go to Canada in search of better prospects, and that's why there are vacancies many times at these places. I have visited and I have seen, I mean, when I had visited that time, Mr. Frederick Ramprasad was the Prime Minister. A very first Prime Minister of Guyana was Mr. Chedi Jagan, who was himself of Bihari descent. So, you know, there are countries other than USA or UK, Australia, or what you call New Zealand, which are actually more homely and friendly with us, and Indians are always welcome. So, you know, try these new countries which you have heard of or you may not have heard of. But my advice to you is if you are getting opportunity to work in countries like Guyana, Trinidad, etc., please do not miss that opportunity. Now, since I have taken the name of Trinidad, I will take you to Trinidad. Trinidad and Tobago is a independent nation of two islands, that is Trinidad and Tobago. Current Prime Minister is also of Indian origin. The earlier one whom I had met was Mr. Vasudev Pandey, who was having a origin of United Province or UP. And Port of Spain is the capital. Here also almost half of the population is of Indian descent. And there are very many multiplexes, then hotels, there are cruise vehicles, vessels. I mean, all the time travelers from United Kingdom, USA, or Canada, they keep on coming to Port of Spain for Diwali festival or Fagwa. I mean, what we call as the Holi Fagwa festival. And Roti festival of Port of Spain, it is also very well known in that part of continent. So this is also one country where you will feel at home. Then beside Trinidad, there is Jamaica. The entire economy of Jamaica, it is dominated by KC group of companies. KC stands for Kishanchan Chelaram Group. This is a Sindhi entrepreneur family which operates from Kingston. And Kingston itself houses more than 100,000 Indians. As of now, there are players from Trinidad and Jamaica who are playing for Punjab 11, Kings 11 Punjab in this IPL tournament. Their names are not occurring to me. One is Chris Gale, and other guy, he's of Indian origin. His first name, I think his surname is Puran, Nicholas Puran. He also plays for Punjab. He is from Trinidad. Chris Gale is from Jamaica. And other than Jamaica, there are countries like Leeward Island, Saint Kitts, many, I mean, small island countries where jobs are available. So if you are really interested in going abroad, so do not mind traveling to these countries for jobs. Jobs are many a time notified to me, or many a time they are notified to international consultants who have their own websites. Like there is one Mr. Ashok Sharma from Canada, or there are mostly from UK, from London, etc. So try those websites. Now coming to eastern part of USA, I do have a client at Miami in Florida who recruits people for their cruise vessels. Other than that, I do not have much of business in USA, but you are well conversant with USA and Canada, so I will not cover that part in today's our conversation. I will take you to Northern Pole. I will take you to Scandinavia. In Scandinavian countries, particularly at Norway, Oslo, mostly there are headquarters of, marine companies, merchant navy companies, or cruise vessel companies, etc. And mostly they recruit. I mean, when it comes to recruiting people for hotel management services on their vessels, they go for Indian or Filipino employees. So if you're interested to make a career in that cruise or otherwise, kindly write to me. My colleague Aparna will be notifying to you my email ID or my Instagram or my mobile number also. And now coming down to United Kingdom, you don't get visa of United Kingdom for employment. You can get a visa for your post graduation studies, and part time you can also work in hotels and restaurants over there, so that you can finance your education. Same is the case of Ireland. And Ireland at Dublin and Belfast, I have posted people particularly for Indian restaurants. There is a tremendous demand for Indian cooks, Indian culinary associates, etc., who are good at Mughlai kind of a food. Now rest of the Europe, it is passing through turmoil because of this COVID-19 and problems of refugees, etc., etc., including Germany, France, Portugal, Spain, and former communist countries like Romania, Hungary. So there are no job opportunities. that side, including Spain, Portugal, Italy. We will come down to northern part of Africa, northwest Africa. In Nigeria, there are jobs available. And Nigeria, there are many Indians already working over there. Most of them working in oil refineries or in manufacturing, but there are hotels, multiplexes, retail companies which are housing the which also accommodates Indian employees. They do not mind taking Indian management graduates or Indian hotel management graduates. In a city like Lagos, you would feel as if you are in Mumbai. Traveling through the streets of Lagos, you will see many Indian faces. And beside Nigeria, there were countries which were formerly part of French Empire, like Mali. Mali city, Dakar houses many five-star hotels where I've seen many Indian employees working there. There is Senegal, there is Ghana. Ghana is also another very good country, very friendly. Its capital city, Accra, is equally good and very religiously tolerant people, secular people. So if you get employment in countries like this, please take up. I will always advise you to go to Northwest Africa if it is coming your way. I mean, if opportunity comes your way. Coming down to South Africa, there are groups like Naidu's or Reddy or Ram Govind group, very recently prominent name in city of Durban, or there are cities like Cape Town, etc., which are housing many restaurants, Indian restaurants as well as hotels, and they prefer taking Indian hotel management graduates. Salaries are better, two and a half times at least better than us, and taking a work permit not very difficult for South Africa. So if you get a chance, please go to South Africa. Now coming to right side of Africa, there are countries like Madagascar, etc. I will not talk much about that, but I will definitely advise you to go to English-speaking countries of Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and Zanzibar, which are entirely dependent on the Indian entrepreneurs. Their economy, particularly economy of Kenya, is run by Mehtas, or Uganda, Madhwanis, or Tanzania, it's by Shahas. So, and they prefer taking Indian graduates, Indian hotel management graduates, or Indian management graduates, and plenty of population, particularly of Gujaratis. And in Nairobi itself, I've seen so many Sardars. Most of the auto component business is in the hands of Punjabi Sardars in Kenya at Nairobi. Now traveling to northward, there is United Arab Emirates, which was part of Bombay Presidency till 1923, and later it was made a separate country by Britishers. This I am talking about Dubai, Sharjah, and Abu Dhabi. So, as such, Indians are there for hundreds of years. So, you would always feel homely at Sharjah. So many Indian people, and the people from Sharjah, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, employers are always posting their vacancies on Indian job portals like Naukri.com, Monster.com, etc., etc. So finding job in UAE is not very difficult. There are countries like Qatar and Oman which are also very friendly with us. Kuwait is also very friendly with us. So if you guys are getting job, please go. I mean, make money, earn money, and come back. And conditions are what not much difficult. I mean, except the hot weather. That too, if you are outside your home. Otherwise, internally, all the places are very cool and air conditioned, etc. In Central Asia also, currently some dispute is going on between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Otherwise, there are plenty of opportunities in a very rich country like Azerbaijan. There are many five-star hotels in their capital city, which and they like Indian food. I do not know why, but people of Central Asia, they are very fond of Mughlai food. Mughals as such basically were Central Asians who were mostly coming from Uzbekistan, so that connection may have been there. And in Arabian waters in Arabian Sea, Mauritius also, there are plenty of job opportunities at Port Louis in Mauritius. Then eastern part of world, there are opportunities in New Zealand, Australia. My consultancy third arm is going to organize students interaction with the immigration officer of New Zealand consulate before Christmas, somewhere around December 19th or 20th. That interaction will take place there. But there is one more country by the name of Fiji. Its capital Suva houses almost 60% Indians. I mean, of the total Suva population. Many people over there are employed in multiplexes, retail management companies, hotels and restaurants. Salaries are far, far, far better. If I get 50,000 here, I will definitely get there 3,50,000. Traveling is also not a problem. I can travel there via Canberra or via Pangyong or via Seoul. So my advice is, if you get opportunities, these are the global opportunities, and global is becoming local. Take advantage of that, earn money, and come back and rest and spend your rest of life with peace of mind. Now, I will not take much of your time. These companies, I mean, many companies abroad also are my clients. Like, for example, there is a hotel, five-star hotel at Nairobi, which is my client. They do have management training program. Selection trials are very, very difficult, but my colleague Aparna Pasi, who is going to educate you on facing the selection trials, she will make your job very, very easy. So please listen to her in attention, and I hand it over to Aparna Pasi now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kanetkar. That was a great tour throughout the world. And ladies and gentlemen, so important for us to have these job opportunities hooked on. It is so important for us to make an impact on the interviewer. And that's precisely what I'm going to be talking about today, which is about smart answers to the key questions along with the global opportunities that we covered. So before we start, we all know that the pandemic has really changed the world, right? And before we really get on and hook on to this webinar and get on to the smart answering technique, which I promise by the end of the webinar you'll commit, I need to check the energy level of the group. Okay, so I'll be using this chat box feature a lot, so I would want you to please get hooked on to that. And if you are ready for this session, I want you to please type that you are ready for this, because I need that kind of energy from the group. Okay, so can I have some answers on the chat box? If you're ready, I want you to type in ready. Fantastic. So I have Kanav first coming saying ready. Kartike says I'm ready, madam. Shweta says ready. Saurabh says ready. Harshvardhan says ready, ma'am. Sarash says ready. Keshav says ready. Fantastic. So the energy of the group is going high and high. Shivendra says ready. Abhay says ready. Anandita says ready. Superb. You all are flowing, and keep on that energy flowing, because that is the energy. If we capture on, trust me, that's the first hook that you're going to get very much successful in terms of your interviews. Okay. KM Mansi says ready. Jibin says ready. And with that, I think even I'm ready. And keep flowing your answers. I will be definitely acknowledging you as well on that. Okay. Now, we all will agree that the world has changed, right? The world has changed with the pandemic. And because the world has changed with the pandemic, so as the world of interview has changed as well. And one of the three things that every company has gotten deep impact on is, number one, of the fact, safety. Right? I'm sure you go to any hotel, any company, any organization, you're going to be seeing so many sanitizers at checkpoints. There'll be checkpoints of oximeter. There'll be a security guard checking your temperature. Elevators would be now differently manned, right? So there's so much of norms and procedures that has changed. Secondly, there's a lot of remote work culture that has been inculcated now in the organizations, right? And it is expected from a lot of employees. Of course, hoteliers are really minimalistic with it, because we can't do that, apart from the fact if you're from the back of the house, departments like ancillary departments. But other than that, you have to be on the floor. But a lot of companies have started with the remote working, right? And of course, third is that the financial stability of the employer has been affected. So guys, why am I telling you this is because before we dwell into the world of interviews and everything, I think it is so important for us to understand that we need to be prepared with the basics. And what is the stuff that I want you to be prepared with? I want you to commit to me right now in the chat box that you're going to be reading the CDC guidelines, which has been laid by the government, which is specifically also in the website talks about the hotel. Because when you go in the interview, there will be expectations of you to know that what are the few things that needs to be there. So can I have some commitments from the students here that you commit, you're going to go through the CDC line. So I want you to write, I commit. Fantastic. So Deepa comes first. Sure, ma'am. Pranav says, sure. Can I write I commit on the chat box? Fantastic, Sarah. That's great. I commit on the chat box. That good. Can I have more commitments? Super fabulous. See, so many of you putting that. Make sure you go through the CDC guidelines because you don't want to be embarrassed or lose that one brownie point of not knowing what hotels are doing during the COVID times. Okay. And let's now dwell into this. So we are ready with our energy. Our energy levels are completely up. We have committed ourselves for the CDC. Now let's start concentrating on us. Okay. It's all about you guys. Now, whatever the condition is, whatever the thing is, I want you to concentrate on yourself to understand that it is all about you. Okay. So I'm going to be talking about your vision. Now, whenever you're in an interview, there is one thing that any interviewer will always focus on, and I'm talking from an experience where I've recruited OCLD, OSAs. When I was in Marriott, I used to be involved in the recruiting and training these people as well. One thing that I always fetched from the person who came for the interview is the clarity in the mind. So if you do not have that clarity, the answers that you're going to speak are going to be all hodgepodge. I'm sure you don't want hodgepodge answers, right? So we need to have a clarity. And when I say clarity, it does not start from the present or from the bottom that we have. We need to know what is that we want. So I'll give you an example. For example, if there's a 5th class child and he tells his mom that, Mama, I want to be a doctor. Okay. And the mom says, great, beta, if you want to be a doctor, then you have to clear your MBBS exams. Okay. You have to get into MBBS to become a doctor to get that degree. Okay. The boy says, okay, all fine. She said, but if you have to get that MBBS degree, you have to make sure that you study very well in 11th and 12th so that you form your bases well and you get through the entrance exams. The child says, all right. But then the mom says, if you want to get through science in 11th and 12th, you have to make sure that you at least get good marks to get science as a subject. Now tell me, students, I want you to hit that chat box and tell me quickly, what do you think the student or that child, the 5th class little child, is going to prepare and concentrate on? Is he going to concentrate on class 10th? Or is he going to quickly concentrate on MBBS mein kaise ghusna hai? Can I have some answers? What do you think he's going to concentrate on? Is he going to concentrate on class 5th? Or is he going to concentrate on directly studying for MBBS? Because he has to obviously make it a point that he gets science. So what do you think he's going to get concentrate on? Can I have some answers on the chat box? Fantastic, Kanav. Kartik, you all got the beat. See, this is what we have it. See, so many of you flowingly saying class 5th, and most importantly is class 10th, right? And this is exactly what the power of vision is, guys. You need to know what do you want. Like that child, he knows I want to become a doctor. And what is the mother doing? She's saying, Bache, if you are in class 5th today, if you are a student of IHM Gurdaspur today, all right, what should you do? Now, her mom is preparing her kid backwards. She's saying to get into MBBS, prepare well, make sure you get into science. To make sure you get science, you have to work very hard for class 10 so you get science. I precisely want all of you to think like that. And I'm going to quickly ask you your visions in one-liner in the chat box now. Okay, this is what you need to know. You need to have a time frame. You know, when I was at IHM in Gwalior, I remember I really wanted to get into OCLD, and that was my mission. That was my one vision that I wanted to be in. And of course, I had a plan B that if not a management training program, then I'll join a hotel and maybe then try for the management training program. But at the back of my head, I always wanted to be an OCLD. So I made a little path. I didn't know this will really work as a theory right now, but this really streamlined well. So make it a point, guys, that you know what you want, because if you know what you want, you're going to obviously start thinking of the steps automatically. All right. So can I have some of your visions? What is that you really wish to be? Do you want to be a management trainee? Do you want to be an entrepreneur? You want to open a restaurant? You want to go abroad, settle in cruise? What is that you want? Can I have one or few visions in the chat box? Fantastic. So Kanav, you're super fast. Huh? He says, I want to be a cabin crew. Saraj says, I want to go abroad. Okay. Can I have some more visions that you have? And that's very good. You know that, 10 years, 12 years down the line, this is what I want. Karthik says empty. Mansi say I want to be a cabin crew. So of course you would like to explore, travel, right? And this is the power of vision. Shweta says I want to go abroad. Somebody says I want a storyteller. Somebody says I want to be a Harkirpal, sorry, says I want to be empty. Okay. And that is so fantastic, right? If you all have already thought that this is what my vision is, I want you to start thinking it backwards. Because if this is what you want, like the class 5th child, start concentrating on the steps. Like a little map that I've drawn on the screen right now. 20, if I'm a student, what is that I think I need to do to get into 21? What should I be there by middle of the 24, 28, and maybe voila, by 10, 12 years, my vision is achieved. Believe me, studies say that people who have mapped themselves much better, they are really more stronger in terms of the vision. So guys, start backwards. Don't just hook on to this is what I want to do. Concentrate on the steps, because that's really, really going to help on it. All right. Second thing, now that I have my vision, ab kya karu bhai? Vision to aa gaya, but I need to work on myself. If you go to my YouTube channel, I have a very detailed video on D3. I hope you subscribe to my channel, Aparna Pasi. If you haven't, please do that. There is a detailed video on D3, and I'm going to explain this a little bit over here. So when I wanted to get into OCLD, okay, a lot of things that were told to me by my seniors were nahi hone wala hai. अपर्णा बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, हमारे कॉलेज से किसी का हुआ ही नहीं, कैसा हो सकता है तुम्हारा? And obviously there'll be a lot of people who will keep telling you nahi hoga, but if you want it from inside, if that's your vision, why not work towards it, right? I have streamlined this D3 formula, and it's original. I promise you it's not available on Google. Okay. This is something that I worked out at that time, and I thought that I can beautifully put it now. It is so important, ladies and gentlemen, for you to understand that if I have a vision or what is that I need to achieve, I need to jot down top 5 things that I need to work on this. So if you want to become an MT, somebody's written, so many of you written MT. Trust me, what are the 3 things that you require to be an MT? Number 1, communication skills. Number 2, a good personality. And number 3, average or above average general awareness and technical knowledge. If you cross these 3, believe me, a lot of it is going to be closer to your management training program. I don't want you to jot down 20 things. Khichdi ban jayegi, confused ho jaoge, kuch nahi milne wala. I want you to concentrate on the top 3 things, and that stage is called define, or what is it called as D1. If you get into everything, nothing is going to work on. So I want you to concentrate on the top 3 things. So when I decided my D1 and got into D2, which is my developing stage, and trust me, I was really scared of public. I had a scare of public speaking. Okay. So I practiced a lot. I remember I got into a little bit of coaching from one of my lecturers. I used to record myself and see myself and then correct myself. I used to speak in front of the mirror. It really worked wonders for me. So ladies and gentlemen, develop your plan. How you want to develop, how you want to dwell is very important. And obviously you deliver with grace once your campus interviews come or once the expectations come. So let me hear from all of you. Which stage are you on? Are you on D1? Are you on D2 or are you on D3? Let me see. Which stage are you on? Let me see. Kanav, I'm waiting for you. Always the first one to do, put onto the chat box. Fantastic. So we have Konark saying I'm in D2. Deepa says I'm D2. Harshvardhan says I'm D2. I'm so proud of all of you. That means you've already defined what you need to say. Harkirpal says I'm on D2. All right. Is there anybody on D1? And koi farak nahi padta, huh? Trust me, D3 works for me till date. Whenever I get a new job opportunity or a new task, I would always work D3. Okay, Anu says D2. Deepa says D2. Kanav says D2. This is fantastic. So many of you saying it. I'm sorry if I'm not able to read all your names, but I love the energy flowing in. That means if you are on the developing stage, make sure that you develop well on your developments. That's extremely important. And believe me, D3 is going to come in place. Mansi Seba on D2. Fantastic, guys. So if you are already on D1, that's cross. Very good. Make it a point that it is related to your vision. So I hope things are falling in place. We had a vision because we need to start backwards. Number two, what is important is your D1, D2, D3, and you are right now on the D2 stage. You could be at any stage, but make it a point. D3 is very important because you need to deliver with grace. All right. So that's something which is very, very important. Now, one thing I keep telling everybody is make most of every situation. Once my vision is done, I'm right now in a D2 stage and doing it. It's so important for you to make the most of every situation. And when I say that, I want you to beat your resistance. You know what is resistance? I'm going to talk about it. Resistance is invisible. It is internal, can't be seen. You know what? Resistance will never say a word if you are lying the whole day watching Netflix, going on Instagram stories, just being on WhatsApp, lying down, not doing anything. Kal kar lenge, parso kar lenge. Resistance will never say anything. You know, if you want to test your resistance, now I want you to keep your chat boxes ready because I'm going to ask you a question. Tell me something, guys. If you decide I'm going to wake up tomorrow at 5 in the morning and I'm going to go for a jog because I want to lose weight. Okay. So when your alarm rings at 4:55 a.m. in the morning, what is the first button that you press? Could you please put it on the chat box? I'm sure it's going to come very quickly to me. First button that you press on the mobile phone because you get so lazy and you think snooze. Very good, Keshav. Anu says dismiss, right? Whatever the label of the button is as per your phone. See, so many of you are talking about is snooze. Deepa says snooze. Keshav says snooze. Anu says dismiss, right? And Kanav says dismiss, right? Why do you do that? That is your resistance. This resistance is our enemy. This resistance is going to kill us. This resistance will not allow us to make our D2, D3, our D3 plan work. And that's what is important. And you know what? It's very easy to break your resistance. I know I'm going to give you a rule called 5-second rule. Okay, this is by the Mel Tobin and she'd spoken about it. I would strongly urge you to go on TED Talks and see her talk. She says if you want to break your resistance, it's called the 5-second rule. What is the 5-second rule? The 5-second rule basically says, say for example, I want to go for a swim. It's pretty cold outside. I still want to go for a swim. And I touch the water. I said, no, it is so cold. I really can't manage this. But I say, okay, I want to go for a swim. I close my eyes. I say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I jump. And there you go. It's just about starting. You know, athletes race kaise start karte hain? On your marks, get set, go. The moment you say go, there's an energy and they run. And that's what the 5-second rule does. So if you understand and love this rule, I want you to type 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on the chat box. If you could please do that. And this 5-second rules work beautifully. Fantastic, Kanav. Thank you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Konark, Harshvardhan. So many of you saying Karthik. It really, really works because the resistance is going to kill you and it's not going to help you to do that. So a lot of time it is so important, ladies and gentlemen, for us to schedule the right things in the right time. Sometimes हम क्या करते हैं ना, अपनी जो चीजें होती हैं, we schedule it on the wrong time. Like for example, if I have my exam tomorrow and I say अब तो मुझे पढ़ना पड़ेगा, and you start studying at 7:30, 8:15 mama calls, beta come for dinner. Then mom, I need to study. No, dinner के बाद करो. You leave everything. Now you've scheduled your study time at a very wrong time. So it's very important for you to pick up your time to do a task when you're highest on energy. I'm sure you have your high energy times, right? Either you're very active at night, you're very active early in the morning. Like I remember I always used to get up early in the morning to study. I can't sleep very late, but I need to sleep and I need to get up maybe by 2 or 3, but I will then do it. So, you know, all of us have it to make sure that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 helps to break your resistance. And the moment you do that, you'll see magic happening, guys. Why I say magic happening? Because it's very simple for Suhansan. The assistants follow the moment we fight our resistance. Okay, so I hope you're following. If you are, please write WL or yes, YL on the chat box saying yes, learning. Because right now I've spoken about the fact, fantastic. So I have a lot of YLs coming with. So I hope you understand on the fact that if we have a vision and I need to know how to work that vision, which is on D3. And to achieve that D3, there'll be a lot of enemies bantering you, right? This resistance is going to come, but I've given you a formula: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whenever you want to get up in the morning and you can't, you just close your eyes, say, all right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and get up. Get up and just up to उठ गए हो, अब तो करना पड़ेगा, right? That's how we achieve. And believe me, twice or thrice once we do is going to happen. It works with me till date. And if it works with you, I want you to write me an email or put me an SMS or put me a WhatsApp chat. I'll give you my number. Make sure it's happened. I'm sure it'll happen. I'll be very happy to hear from all of you. Thank you. I get so many wiles on the chat box. I'm glad that you're learning. And let's go further with this. I want you to work on yourself. Okay. So these are the 3 important components of the interview, and I'm going to be talking about it in detail towards the end. So I'm going to skip this slide right now. Another thing. Do you remember one thing I said to get into a management training program? One thing that is required is your general awareness and your technical knowledge. So guys, if you really want to make an impact, please make sure that you know general awareness. Now, what are the things that you need to know? Capitals of the countries, currencies of the countries, prime ministers, cabinet ministers. ये working knowledge हमें आनी ही चाहिए. You know, I'm sorry. I think I'll show that to your next batch, and I'll request Rukmani to maybe share it with you guys as well, or maybe you can join back again in the next session. I'm going to be showing the various management trainings with the different rounds. Okay. So in every round, something which is uniform and that always says is that, do a group discussion on a case study. I remember when I used to interview OCLDs as an HR manager of the Oberoi Hotel in Nariman Point, I always used to ask them the current affairs. Why do I do that? Because as a hotelier, if you're standing at the cashier counter and a guest comes to you and says, ma'am, could you please exchange my ruble? And you look at him with a blank face and say, wait, sir, 1 second, I'll get back. And you quickly Google or ask Casino, what is ruble? You need to know ruble is a currency of Russia, right? It is so embarrassing because hotels is all about wine. So pehle se pata hota to acha rehta. So it's very important for you to know what is a good general awareness. Complete your responsibilities and make it a point to exercise and meditate. I'm sure if you're happy in your professional life, that happiness trickles in your personal life, right? And vice versa. If you're happy in your personal life, that happiness trickles in your professional life. Do you agree with me? Can I have some yeses on the chat box if you agree with me that balancing your responsibility makes it fantastic impact on you? Fantastic, right, Deepa? She says yes with so much of conviction, right? Help your mom to clean that fan. Get some groceries with your parents, right? Or maybe say, I'll help you in the kitchen today. When you complete your responsibilities, you feel good about things, right? It's like a feel good, look good, do good factor. Do your responsibility. There's an automatic smile that comes in me. I always, preach the agenda, and whoever, any of the students that I, coach, they keep asking me, ma'am, there are a lot of time, we have a lot of issues, personal problems at home. I said, what can you do about it? If there is a tension which is going at home due to a financial crunch, or maybe an emotional path, or there is something that has happened, least you can do is contribute to ease the situation. Because if you carry that tension to your work or to your college, it's going to further deteriorate the day of you. So you rather be possibly contribute as much as you can. You complete your responsibility and it helps. Guys, we just need to start working on this and it helps. And I understand the psyche of yours, right? So that is important. So if you agree with me, please write, yes, I agree and I will do this. I want you to CYR, complete your responsibility. Can I have that typed on the chat box by all of you? CYR, I'll make sure that I'll complete my responsibility. Can I have some CYRs? Fantastic. So I get first for Kartike, Konar, Deepa, Kana. Wow, so many of you flowing in. Great, guys. I love the energy flowing in. So it's so important to complete and make it a point that you exercise and you meditate. Why I say that? Because, in hotels, and even so many of you mentioned, I want to be cabin crew. Do you know that they require a certain kind of weight and height to be there? अब height को तो हम इतना कुछ कर नहीं सकते, height अब मैं बढ़ा तो नहीं सकती हूँ, but can I be in shape? Because in hotels and airlines or in hospitality, there's a lot of running around, there's a lot of physical work. I remember when I was the banquet manager of the Oberoi Grand in Kolkata, I used to have 7 banquet halls that I used to manage with about team of good 50 plus team members. So if there were times that we used to have all banquet functions busy, I couldn't be sitting possibly in an office and delegating my work. I had to be up and running with the guest, including the ballroom functions and the functions downstairs and upstairs. We had multiple floor events as well. So it's so important for you to be active. And that's the reason hotels do a thorough medical test. And अब तो COVID है तो immunity पक्का check होने वाली है आपकी. Okay, so every hotel, either you go for industrial training, whether you go for jobs, your medical test is going to be thorough. So ladies, you know what? Hotels do not take you if you're less than 45 kg. Or gentlemen, they will not hire you if you are less than 50 kgs or you're obese. So it's very important for you to manage weight. And it may sound harsh, but that's how it is. We want people who are well in shape. We're not talking about beautiful people. A lot of students say, ma'am, hotels don't take people who are dark. I'm not very fair. I'm also pretty okay. I'm not a fair girl, but I still worked in hotels, right? It's all about glowing, it's all about being happy, and it's all about looking active. That is very important, because an active person can perform a little bit more better. I hope you're with me. If you're with me, please write WM on the chat box so I know you're with me. All right, fantastic. So I get it from Kanav, I get it from Konark, so many of you. Thank you. So before I'm just going to start with our job interviews now, which is another 20 minutes, okay? But I want you to touch a very important point. So keep your chat boxes ready, and I want you to answer this. He wasn't able to speak until he was almost 4 years old, and his teacher said that you would never amount to much. Can any of you guess who this person was? A very, very, very famous, renowned personality in physics. Can any of you guess? Don't Google it, guys. If you can't, that's okay, no problem. But I'm sure I'll get some answers. He wasn't able to speak unless he was 4 years old, and his teacher said he would never amount to much. Can any of you tell me who this person was? Edison. Fantastic. Do you think it was Edison, Keshav? Well tried. Can I have some more answers? You're very close, Keshav. Somewhere maybe in the same profession, but it's not actually Edison. Can anybody else guess? Keshav, thank you for introducing that. I'm still waiting. Think. Einstein. That's right, Anu, Har Kirpal. It was Albert Einstein. I'm going to be telling you why I'm talking about this, but imagine it's a famous failure. He was told at the age of 4, you're good for nothing. Get out. Who did he turn to be? He turned out to be Albert Einstein, right? A Nobel Prize winner. Let's try the second one. She was demoted from her job as a news anchor because she was told that you're not fit for television. Can anybody guess who this lady was? One of the most influential ladies in the world, ladies and gentlemen, had a very dark past, very tough past, very tough childhood too. Can anybody guess? Can anybody guess who this lady was? Try. Oprah Winfrey. Fantastic. Yes, Keshav, you're right. With 2 question marks, you're asking me, and so many of you writing it as well. Host of multi-winning talk show and a most influential woman in the world, right, was once told that you're not fit for television, madam. You can please make your way out. And plus, she was black, right? And she obviously had a lot of atrocities. Life was not easy for her. Let me try the last one. And this is going to come super flowing, I know it, because a lot of you are going to be a fan of him. At age of 11, he was cut from his team after being diagnosed with a growth hormone disease, which made him very small in stature. Can anybody guess who this famous sports person was? I'm giving you a hint, a sports person. Who this famous sports person was? Anybody? Can anybody guess? I'll give you about few seconds more to answer. Try. He was someone who was diagnosed with a growth hormone. Absolutely. Messi is the right answer. Keshav, Abhay, Harshvardhan, well tried, but it was Lionel Messi, guy. 3-time FIFA world player. Why am I telling you this? I'm all trying to tell you guys is that you will fail. But does that mean you're going to stop trying? Does that mean if I don't get through OCLD, I'm going to never get through OCLD? Or does that mean I'm going to stop trying for MT programs? You know, there's a very nice video I've uploaded on my YouTube, which says how to overcome the fright of interview. Go and watch that. You're going to get some lovely tips. Like this boy who's trying to hit the bullseye, but look at the number of darts which are thrown. He's missed, but he's still trying. You know, interviews is always like this, because I always say, if someone will, someone will not. So what? Because someone else is waiting. All right. I want you to type SW, SW, SW on the chat box. Someone will not. So what? Because someone else is waiting. Can I have some motivation flowing on the chat box? Can I have some SW? Fantastic. Thank you, Deepa. Fabulous. I want SW to be your mission, guys. You will fail, but I want you to keep trying. It does not mean that life is going to stop. It's going to be SW for all of us, right? So keep fighting till the time you have it. It's not going to happen that you're not going to get a job. A lot of times, some people get job very quickly. Some of them will get a little late, but that does not mean that you will never get it, because remember, someone else is definitely waiting for you. So I want you to be like this girl, you know. If Steve Jobs would have given up and he was fired at age of 33 from his own company, Apple would have never come up, right? It is so important for you to be having conviction, have that resilience, and say, all right, I take this opportunity and make it a point that I convert it into my dream and see how it can happen. All right, are you all with me? Can you write WM on the chat box if you're with me, so I know you're around me? Fantastic. Thank you so much. It's so nice to see that you're equally constant in number as well. So that's something which is very important. And now that we've understood this, guys, I want you to start with the job interviews. I think this is important. Okay, now, why did I talk about so many things? Because there is one thing which is required from the interview too, is clarity. A clarity and a presence of mind can make wonders and do difference. See, sales, interview is a process of selling yourself, right? So you need to sell yourself. Don't think it's an interrogation process. आपका interrogation नहीं हो रहा है वहां पे, कोई आपको check नहीं कर रहा है. There is a company person who's only trying to do his job because he wants to see whether Harshvardhan or Kanav or Harkirpal or so many of you are there on the chat, are you okay for the interview, right? So make it a point to do that. So I'm going to be giving you some prerequisites for the interview, but always make sure that you're in your professional attire. So guys, first thing first, be punctual. I think, one thing I've learned from the Oberoi group, they've always said, if you're on time, you're late. That means you need to be 10 minutes before your shift, even, whenever you have, because time allows you so much. You can groom yourself, you can check yourself, you can your the dress, the attire that you're wearing is fine. It is so important for you to be punctual. I'll tell you why. Because HR will always give you a form to fill up. You, whatever CV you send, whatever details you send, they'll still give you a form to fill up, which takes 10 minutes. So imagine 11 बजे आपका interview है और आप 10:58 पे enter कर रहे हो, that too panting, and say, ma'am, can I have a glass of water? It could be so annoying because the interview is waiting for you and to start at 11. So make it a point that you don't mar your impression like that. Okay, so be punctual. Extremely important. These days, obviously, the interviews are mostly going to be happening through the laptop screen, through the webinar, or so that is also important, because you need to check 10 minutes before मेरा internet चल रहा है, everything is stable, laptop का battery तो नहीं out हो गया है. It just helps you to give that extra breath and energy. Okay, so make it a point to do that. Number 2, it's COVID time, guys, so they will obviously expect you to have the e-copies. So I would please request all of you to scan your CVs, your photographs, your address proof, your PAN card, and your Aadhaar card, scanned in a folder of your laptop. In fact, I would say put it in the draft folder of your email. और जैसे HR manager आपको बोलेगा, please send it to me, you say, yes ma'am, right away, put in the email, send. Wow, what impression you'll make, right? All these things count. So make sure this is a prerequisite. It's like your interview checklist. You're keeping it ready for you so that you don't have to waste time. Okay. Number 3 is basic research. I always say in the interview, and this is also another video on my channel which says how to build a rapport with the interviewer. To build a rapport with the interviewer, you have to bring out some commonalities, right? अभी इंटरव्यू से पहली बार मिल रहे हो तो कॉमनैलिटी क्या है आप दोनों के बीच में? You and your company, right? The company that you're applying for. So whenever an interview is going to ask, do you know something about a company? It's going to be so embarrassing if you're going to just say, yes ma'am, I think Oberoi Hotel was found in somewhere in 1930s, and it was found by Mr. Oberoi, and first hotel was in Shimla, and now I think we have around 35 hotels, and one coming also in outside in I think in London. Such a, it puts off the interviewer. So the moment you say, yes ma'am, the Oberoi Hotels was found in 1934, and it was founded by Mr. M.S. Oberoi. His first hotel was the Oberoi Cecil in Shimla, and at present the company employs 12,000 team members, and they have 33 hotels in the world. And in fact, I recently read on the website there's a new hotel coming up in the London. Now this is the perfect answer I have. Do you get impressed? You get that perfection on that. And believe me, as an interviewer, I am telling you, I used to give +2 points to the student because he's done some research. You know, one of my students from IHM Goa, who had recently given an interview, and he was telling me, ma'am, the tips that you gave me to go through the LinkedIn and the website helped me so much, because the HR manager kept on asking me, what do you know about a group? Why do you want to join us? What are the recent things you've seen? So very important for you to do the basic research of the group, because it gives you only the extra points on that. Okay, of course, I don't think so I can deny anything of this. You all are hotel management students. First impression is the lasting impression. I'm not saying last, lasting. Okay, pura interview throughout karega. So you need to make sure that you're well groomed. And I always say, you know, grooming is something which is is something which I take a session for 3 hours, but I can only tell you in a crispness that is a combination of style and discipline. Why I say discipline, gentlemen or ladies? Simple, because say for example, if you're wearing a green tie, you need to wear a green pocket square. Okay, if you're wearing brown shoes, you need to wear a brown belt. If you're wearing a striped shirt, okay, you cannot wear striped trousers with it. You need to have a solid color. So there's a lot of sense of discipline that also goes. It's not about putting the best of the makeup and coming, or you know, best of the gel or most immaculate dress. Nahi hone wala usse. You have to have that crispness in you. Okay, for ladies, always wear please skin color stockings. If you're wearing a skirt, make sure your scarf is crisp. Number 3, if you're wearing a sari, wear a chiffon or a silk. Don't wear cotton because it gets crushed and then your grooming goes for a toss. Okay, make sure your nails are not chipped, they're well manicured, you don't have any extra facial hairs, your hair is in order, it's always need to be in bun. Don't wear the earrings which are dangling. There's so many do's and don'ts that we have. All we need to make sure is that we have a lasting impression on that. And last but not the least is that you should know what is expected out of you. Okay, so if you agree with me, can you write the top? These are my prerequisites guide. So could you write prerequisites? Zyada bada ho jayega na, prerequisites na. So if you understand these 5, just cite P5, prerequisites 5. If you understand this, and if you have a question, I'll take it at the end. Fantastic. I get so many of you writing onto it, right? Punctuality, super important. Organize your documents, do a research, grooming, and role and description you need to know, right? Because that is a lot of work for the person, because उससे मुझे पता लगता है आपने IT में काम किया है, मुझे पता लगता है बच्चे ने एफर्ट लिया करने का, थोड़ा एफर्ट अपना दिखाना पड़ता है, और किया है तो दिखाओ, right? So super important for you to make sure that you follow this P5. Okay, so with this, let's hook on to our next thing, which is obviously our actual interview process, right? And when I say my perfect 5 is exactly what I said. Make sure that you're well groomed, your body language needs to be correct. Okay, your correct posture. So I'm going to quickly talk about this. Do not be close. Never sit in front of the interviewer like this. Never have your hand like this. Okay, never keep touching your earring or hair. Always be straight, sitting straight. Do not slouch. Be straight. Put your hands firm on the thighs and then talk. Okay, सीधे बैठते हो ना तो आवाज भी अच्छी आती है, ऐसे स्लाउच करके बैठोगे आवाज भी टेढ़ी मेढ़ी आएगी. Okay, so I don't think so you want to do that, right? So make it a point that you have a correct posture, you talk well, there are gestures, don't frown, don't look confused. In fact, there is a very interesting video on my YouTube that I had uploaded on request from some students saying, ma'am, what happens if I fumble in the interview? Watch that. It's all on body language. Okay, makes a lot of difference. Communication, bhaiya, bahut important hai communication. Huh? When I say communication, I'm not expecting you to, what do I say? I don't want you to know the entire Ren and Martin. I want you to speak simple English, and it should be grammatically correct. Are you all with me? Can you write grammar? Grammar is so important, because I'm sure you'll agree with me. You must have heard so many students or your friends, people who just say, ma'am, I has come. I was coming. Yesterday was my birthday and I was doing cake cutting. All wrong. This is all continuous, right? In fact, to the students I coach, I actually give them a key of communication to make them understand this is what the tenses are. So tenses are important. I want you to make it a point to do that. In fact, in OCLD, there is a round of telephonic, which is called the British Council round, which is only on your communication skills. So there they check their vocabulary also. वो तो चलो एक number आगे के लिए, but basic आपकी communication set होनी चाहिए. If you speak simple English but grammatically correct, then आपकी नैया पार हो जाएगी. Communication is super, super important. Okay. Then of
Aparna
course,
ma'am,
yes, Rukmini.
some of these students present today, they have
Yeah.
formed a group and they were actually learning communicative English.
Oh, great. That's great. I think
And
that's
if I'm
fantastic.
not wrong, they just complete about their tenses last month.
Very good.
Yes.
And I think that's the need of our Rukmini and students. If you are if you really get onto this key, I think it really helps. And that's what I'm saying. Even if we have a basic grammar in order, things go in order. Okay. So make sure that we communicate well. And of course, we need to have a good attitude and knowledge. I think I spoke about. When I say it's about attitude, attitude is about I would just say, if there is a response that you need to give to a situation that the interviewer gives, you need to come across as positive. So for example, if the interview says, Shreyansh, you have applied for front office, but I think I'll give you housekeeping, and Shreyansh says, no ma'am, not housekeeping, I don't like the department only, ma'am. Rather, if Shreyansh would possibly smile and say, ma'am, thank you so much for the opportunity, and I'm glad that you thought about me for a department. However, if you could give me another chance, and ask me some more question, I would really want to try for front office. Now, there's some positivity that has come, except to nahi kiya hai. He started his answer by saying, yes, however. He's not saying no, but. Clear? So never start your answer with the negative part. Maybe be positive and then express your views. We'll understand. Okay. Interviews don't have horns always on that. Okay. And it's COVID time, guys. So in the actual interview process, when it starts, I would want you to please do one thing. Please ask the interviewer, how are you? I hope you're fine. It's been trying time for your family. I hope you and your family are safe. Okay. Make it a point that you do that. You can do a screenshot of the screen if you want to, but make it a point that you maybe just talk about this to the interviewer, that I hope you're fine, you and family are safe. Empathy always helps, right? सबको अच्छा लगता है जब हमारे बारे में कोई पूछता है. So just to start and make a commonality in the entire conversation, it makes a lot of difference. Okay, so guys, we're coming towards the end, almost, the second or third last slide, which is very important, which is smart answers to the key questions. Are you ready to be smart? Can you put in smart on the chat box? Can I have some smart? If you really want to know some secrets, smart secrets, fantastic. Kanav, Konark, everybody is wanting to be smart. I'll give you an example of a smart answer, and this is my real example. Asli wala hai. So I remember I was getting interviewed for the Taj Hotels for the management training program, side by side with the OCLD. And I remember the lady, the HR manager, she was actually, I think, the training manager of Taj Palace Hotel. And she asked me that, she was asking me, what are few famous things of particular countries. So she asked me about Egypt. She asked me about India. She asked me about Agra, I remember. And then all of a sudden, she also asked me about Hyderabad. And at that time, I did not know honestly about Hyderabad. मुझे चारमीनार भी strike नहीं हो रहा था. But I remember there is a Falaknuma Palace of Taj over there. Okay. And I said, ma'am, I think Hyderabad is famous for Taj Falaknuma Palace. And she started smiling. And she said, wow, that's nice. So that's a smart answer, guys, right? Sometimes it is just so important for you to do the research and maybe make a smart impact. Okay. It also showed two things: that she's done a research of my hotel chains. She knows where is what. And number two is she has the presence of mind, because hotels may actually बहुत बार ऐसे होता है where tricky guests आते हैं and you don't know what to do. So you just have to be smart sometimes. So with this, we'll start with a smart answer. So the very first question that is always asked, and the traditional question is, introduce yourself. There are actually 21 questions that I have, but with the paucity of time, I'll only be able to present 5, but these are key questions. Okay. Now tell me about yourself is an invitation. I always tell my students, you are the driver of your interview. You're driving your interview. Okay. So whenever you want to introduce yourself, I want you to understand that introduction is always an elimination in elimination round, or even during the interview, it's an elimination part. अगर आप अपने बारे में सही इंग्लिश में गुड 30 से 90 सेकेंड्स तक नहीं बोल सकते, तो आप मेरे गेस्ट, मेरे क्लाइंट, मेरे वेंडर से कैसे बात करोगे? Okay, so it is so important. This question is very critical, guys, and that's why in a lot of these interviews it's actually an elimination round. So super important for you to know that you need to talk about yourself with confidence, and you can write down what are the elements that are required in introduction. Number one, your name, the place where you come from, your family, a little bit of family background, then of course your profession, your educational qualification and current first. Huh? Please mention about IHM first. Don't mention about 12th and 8th and 10th. So your current IHM that you are on. After that, you talk about your professional experience. Once you're done with professional experience, talk about your hobbies. Make sure you do that. Talk about 2 to 3 key strengths that you have, and most importantly is, why did you join the department? I don't want you to really fancy up. You're saying that, I believe in this as per the quotation of so and so. Doesn't really impact the interviewer at all, because as I said, introduction gives me 2 purposes: communication skills and confidence in body language. Number 2 is your family background. I need to know it, and in case there's some commonality I find, same hotel se industrial training kiya hai ya nahi. Okay, so smartly you have to make it a point that you accept it as an invitation and do that. Okay, very, very important. Now it's time for me to ask you some questions. It's been long, I haven't really asked you anything on the chat box. Very common question: Bache, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Now I want you to put that chat box and tell me this answer. I'm going to ask you a question. The question is, if you want to buy a television, okay, you go to a shop. What do? You go to a shop, select a television and get it home. What do? What are the few things that you do before buying a television? Can somebody put it on the chat box? I'm waiting for some good, interesting answers. Brand. Okay, Anu says I will check the brand. Yes, absolutely. Anybody else? What else do you think you are going to be doing on it? Okay, somebody's putting me on a personal chat. Size, some features, somebody saying research, somebody saying quality. Konark says quality. Something else. एक बहुत important चीज है जो आप check करते हो टीवी कोई भी product लेने से पहले. Some research, brand and price. Will do the research. Brand discounts. Okay, Mansi. Yeah, that's absolutely. Customer reviews. Very good. Deepa, you're coming closer. Can I have some more? One more key thing. एक चीज जो हम सब देखते हैं, चाहे हम कुछ भी लें, कुछ भी जूस का पैकेट भी लेंगे, हम वो चीज जरूर देखेंगे, which is, I don't think the answers are coming. Let me see. Relationship, price, offers. Harshvardhan, you're coming closer. Try, trickle your mind. Come on. So many of you are writing so many things. Relations with the everyone, price, offers, manufacturing date. Mansi, you're so right. Coming closer. So let me reveal the answer. Okay. I like the way you guys are thinking and trickling and flowing your answers into it. You are going to check the longevity, right? Kitna der chalega ye TV. Correct? So important. That's exactly what the answer to this question is. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Ma'am, I think after 2-3 years, I'll move to America. Ma'am, I will start my papa's restaurant. I have a small hotel. I have an investment. I'll never take you. Kyun bhai? Why should I invest on this person jo 1-2 saal mein out? I will not waste my time, money and energy. I'll train you, do that, and 2 saal mein you're going. Right? So I'm not asking you to lie. All I'm trying you to be, have a smart answer ready to it. So you should say ideally that, ma'am, I see myself growing with the company in one of the senior positions and leading a restaurant or being a chef or whatever your dream is. And if at all you have a dream to settle outside, then you say, ma'am, as a long-term goal, I think I would like to manage the restaurant of my father. Now there I'm going to take you. Ye bachcha mere saath 5 saal to rahega. There is some commitment he is giving it to me. Are you with me? I hope you understood the smart. So if you think this is smart, write smart on the chat box, right? This is the key answer to this, right? Always make it a point that you need to tell the company what is the impact I'm going to give you for your baseline. Extremely, extremely important for you to do that, right? Let's go to the third and the fourth question, which has almost got the similar answers. Why should we hire you? Or why do you want this job? Now, if I at all say, why should I hire you? Okay. So please don't say I'm hardworking, I'm dedicated, I am extra careful, I'm very good in my communication skill. Nahi chalne wala hai. Because ye to donkey bhi hota hai, right? We are not donkeys. We are ourselves. We are good, finished hoteliers. So I want you to give me your skill set. So say, for example, Aditya wants to say, I ask Aditya, why do you want the job or why should we hire you? Aditya should smartly say that, ma'am, I think during my industrial training, I gripped three things. Number one, I'm good with customer relationships and I can handle a situation well. In addition to that, I have very good knack of making cocktails and beverages. And thirdly, I'm very good with my numbers, for example, okay? Or I'm good in generating the reports. Now I'm going to be interested on you. You are talking business, you're showing me meat now. A hardworking commitment चलता है आजकल, right? So make it a point because ये तो expected है ना आपसे. अगर आप hardworking नहीं होगे तो क्या फायदा हुआ, committed नहीं होगा क्या होगा. I want you to bring us, तभी तो I'll hire you. And this is the difference between an OCLD and OSIR. An OCLD who's got through ever has always been upselling himself with the introduction. If you go and buy that TV with a salesperson, he's not going to say TV is black in color, TV is broad. He's going to say, ma'am, it has a 4K technology. Ma'am, it has a 3D feature. So क्या बता रहा है वो आपको, unique क्या है मुझ में, मेरे को आपको ये बताना है. So I want you to put down, so let me give you some feedback here. Okay, I want you to put down some of your skill sets. I'll give you a live feedback right now that whether this answer will work or not during the interview. So let me have few. I'll take 2-3 of you and maybe say, so think of one of your hard skill or your soft skill. ये चल सकता है interview में. No communication, no general answer, no hard working. Think leadership quality. Okay, Harkirpal, this is again a very generic answer. This is not specific. So Harkirpal, if you say, ma'am, I'm very good in leadership, very generic. You say, ma'am, I want you to complete it by saying that, ma'am, I think I have innate leadership qualities and I proved this in one of my food festivals of the college. Now you're giving answers and cues to the interview saying, मुझसे पूछो. मैंने बहुत अच्छा किया था. That's why I'm saying you're driving your interview. You're telling the interview, ask me this. Okay, so good, Harkirpal. Leadership quality becomes general. Make it specific to make it even better. Can I have few more, 1 or 2, and I can give you a live check. Chalega ki nahi chalega. Okay, think and write it down. Teamwork, Kunal. Again, when I talk about teamwork, now, again, teamwork is very generic. I want you to say, I'm a team player, Konark. Okay, that will work well. Kanav says empathy while situation handling. Fantastic, Kamal. This is a very good point because in hotels, we require that empathy, right? So, but always remember, whatever you say, keep an example ready. Huh? Because interview ke next question aayega. Could you give me an example? Batao. Okay, Abhay says margarine carving. Absolutely, Abhay, very good. That's a perfect thing that you have. Aditya, what do you mean attractive? What is attractive? I am attractive. Attractive nahi hota hai. Okay, Anandita, active team player. Yeah, active team player is a very good word. You've added an adjective. Aditya, I'm still wondering what do you mean by attractive? You can't say I'm attractive. Maybe you want to say, instead of attractive, I think I understand you want to say that I'm influential. Okay, I can inspire. I think that will be better. Don't say attractive. Okay, good. I'll not be able to take more. A lot of you are writing it because of the paucity of time. And let's go to the last question. Do you have any questions? Okay, you should have questions because it shows you have done the research. So please don't ask questions like, Mera ho jayega, ma'am. Will I be ready? Ma'am, feedback de do. अब बोले मैम बोलेंगे बेटा आपको बाहर मिल ही जाएगा, don't worry. I want you to ask smart questions, talking about the company. Say for example, ma'am, if I work with your company, what are the chances of the employees to move into international opportunities with your hotel, for example? Or ma'am, we've heard that you have few hotels which are coming up outside India as well. What are the opportunities of a fresher to apply for it? Ask some good questions, be comfortable in your skills and do that. Makes a lot of difference. Okay, so guys, all I want to say is ace your video interviews because these are something which are very, very important, and all it requires is zero talent. If you agree with me, please type zero talent on the chat box. You all have to do for a smart interview, make it a point that you're on time, you make an effort, you're high on energy, positive attitude, and of course doing extra, being prepared. 0 0 0 0 talent, all of you write on it. Okay, so thank you so much for listening to me. And all I want to just tell you is from the time this pandemic coronavirus had started, we all were locked up in the home, but there were so many of us who really utilized, and I'm sure all of you, and if you do, please write yes I did. You must have gone through a lot of certifications, you must have enrolled into a course, some learning thing which helped, right? And see so many of you saying yes I did, yes I did. So if you please allow me, can I present something that can really make a difference to you? If you allow me, please write aloud Yes, sure. Okay, thank you so much for giving me permission. Yes, thank you. So, guys, I want to tell you and talk to you about some of the success stories of some of the students that I have. And we all live two lives. One life which is in our dream, sapne mein, and I love dreaming. Okay, and that's my life which is in my dream, and I want to really make that happen. And there's one life that I'm living, right? But the second life that you have, which is your dream, can come true. And I think right now, what would be your dream? To get through a management training program, to get through a good job, to get a mentor, to get a guide, right? Your second dream will only come true not with सोचने से नहीं आएगा, action से आएगा, involve करने से आएगा, करने से आएगा, भागा दौड़ी से आएगा, right? You need to be having an action and involvement to making it happen. And it was so nice with some of my students who you see, in Dubai, Mumbai, Patna, Goa, so many of them. I was so happy to help them creating into professionals. So guys, till the time, I think from month of March, me and Mr. Kanetkar, we started guiding students from the month of June, which is the first batch, until now through the webinars. We've trained over 2,000 plus students in terms of through webinars, talking to them, and we've trained and coached over 60 plus students to get and help them into the dreams. Okay, we give these little tips which helps you. So if you wish to come connect with me, I'll be more than happy to give you that. These are some of the glimpses of the webinars that we keep doing, all good fun webinars that we have. I'm sure you must have got energy with me, right? Till now we do sessions like enlightening Saturdays. If you join me on Instagram, you'll keep coming to know what are the webinars that we do. We've done sessions on resume writing. We've done session on video resume that we call. This is quite in these days. A lot of hotels have started to ask for video resume. We did public speaking in new normal. So there are a lot many more things that you do. So in case you wish to have it, please connect with me. In fact, I don't want to lose this opportunity, and I want to tell you frankly that we have a pre-Diwali Bonanza package, and I think it's a master blaster interview that I call for. It's a session for 4 sessions that we have, which is going to be starting on 23rd of November, and it's only for 1199. In case 2 of you come together, then you only pay 999, which is less than 1,000 rupees. Okay, so the first class I'm going to be covering on corporate grooming. We'll be telling you what kind of attire, what is that it impresses an HR manager. Second class would be on corporate body language, and we'll also have GD in this. Third class would be a master interview class. What you've seen today is a trailer. Okay, now you're going to see the entire picture in this session. And the fourth session is a brownie for all of you, because it's going to be a mock interview. We're going to give you a mock interview with a headway report, which is going to give you a progress, and it tells you. So 2 of your friends cover up, apply, and we're going to be starting this with a lot of things. You'll have a 24-hour access to me and Mr. Kanetkar. We'll be talking about and guiding you. We have a 50 years together plus in talent acquisition, give you good tips to make sure that things goes in well. Okay, so that's what we have. Plus, if you want, there are a lot of students applied with us for a 12 session package. So, we have a 4 session, 12 session package as well. This is for about 4,000 rupees. That goes on, and it has so many things. They give you resume services, one-on-one coaching, 24-hour access to us, advices for careers and vacancies. Sir spoke about so many global opportunities as well, along with the guidance in the interviews. Post the course, we have live calls that happens. I go Instagram live as well. Personalized reports, progress chart, it's there. So this one is for 4,000, but right now this session will start in month of December. But if you wish to enroll for the session, come and join me in the master class of interview. Some of you have already enrolled and registered. By today, end of the day, I'm going to email you all the details, and you can always call me on my number or WhatsApp with me as well. Currently, on this 10th of November, we're having a fantastic session by Mr. Satyajit Kotwal and Mr. Ranjan Das. Okay, not Mr. Sumit Khan, sorry. We'll be having his session, and I'm going to put and paste the link on the chat box, okay, which talks about where you can register yourself. And this is our number, guys. Please take a screenshot of this. Please follow us on the channel Aparna Pasi, which is our YouTube channel. You can follow us on Instagram with Mr. Rajan Kanetkar or Aparna Pasi. This helps you to just keep giving us, telling you what are the updates that we have. If you enroll with us, I promise you it's going to be a different energy and world altogether. Did you get energy with me in the last 1 hour? Can you type energy on the chat box? If you could type energy, if you really got energy on on the chat box? If you did, you can write yes or write energy. Fantastic. So many of you. So imagine, guys, 1 ghante mein if I can give you energy, imagine day on day if I meet you, what kind of energies are going to be turning. Okay. So come join us. Would be more than happy. We have another session with your students, which is upcoming. I'll be presenting the management training slides also in that today. I'm sorry I could not present that. And yes, more than happy to have you. I hope you've taken our numbers. And super fantastic. Thank you so much. And I'm going to be quickly writing the link on the chat box. Keep your payment modes ready for the session on 10th. More than happy to have you. And over to Madam Rukmini, ma'am. We started a little late, so obviously it got a little late on that. Are you there?
No worries, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so very much. It was a really, really encouraging session. I would say encouraging. Energy is the second term, but encouraging was the very first thing.